Here we go, ladies and gents. We're going to speed right up to live time. We have the Viper in the red playing against LucifroN, Age of Empires 4 quarterfinal. LucifroN's brother, another well-accomplished RTS player, already moved on to his semifinal, and we're here to see if LucifroN can replicate the form his brother performed with earlier. Nilly, should be an amazing best of 5.
Yeah, arguably the quarterfinal that gets us most excited, right? LucifroN probably, and it's tough to say that, the favorite against the Viper here. LucifroN, #1 ranked in the open beta, has been playing so much, looked very sharp in the qualifier, and Viper really motivated to perform here as well, though I think it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, exactly, and I think this is just a matchup you want to see. You have like the king of Age of Empires 2 against someone who has been all around the RTS scene. In the blue, we have LucifroN. He's playing as Delhi.
Yep, Delhi.
Yep, right, got it. Okay, cool. And then we're getting Vipers playing as the English. Not a matchup we've seen yet. Is there anything that comes to mind for this matchup for you, Nilly?
I don't really know. What we can say, though, is that LucifroN, who played earlier, also opened with Delhi on this map. So the Viper maybe seeing that one and coming up with some adjustment, seeing, okay, you try to open with some archery ranges, maybe longbows could be good against that.
Sure, okay. What time does it say for you?
2 minutes, 8 seconds.
8 seconds. Oh, God. It's not going to sync for us, Nilly.
Okay, well, where are you? I can pause a bit if you want to.
2 minutes 10 right now. So if you want to pause somewhere, you could just unpause it.
Okay, say when you are 18.
Okay, 18 right now.
Okay.
Cool. Problem solving.
21, 22, 23.
Yeah, perfect. Everything's good.
Nice, nice.
There's Viper with his Council Hall as he's going to advance up. And nothing really too crazy about the Dark Ages with these civilizations. We've seen some Mongols. We've seen some of the Rus.
What upgrades are we going for? So Scholars, boosting production speed by 100%. Makes lots of sense. And then allows Scholars to capture sacred sites. Are the two upgrades that LucifroN is going for.
Okay. You said going for, excuse me, you're talking about the, shoot, I'm trying to switch positions here.
Upgrades in his mosque.
Yep.
Was it a mosque? Mosque.
Yeah. It doesn't have it labeled, but I believe it is called a mosque, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this is the civilization that I've had the least experience with. And the way the Scholars operate is just so unique, so I'm really excited to see how this will play out for him.
So basically, all the upgrades are for free with the civilization, and all the upgrades are for free, indeed. And it simply takes a very, very long time. But the more Scholars you have in your mosque, and the more mosques you have together in a radius, the shorter the upgrades get.
And so it definitely snowballs and maybe puts Viper under a little bit of pressure to apply pressure to stop that from happening, or at least punish the approach, which is mainly to stick at home and invest into the economy. And not really any funky business. Viper over here making his Council Hall, so let's see those Longbowmen, which is such a classic Viper thing. He's always loved his Britons in Age of Empires 2. And his micro as well, so expect him to utilize that range, and I expect the units to be running forward here shortly.
Yeah, let's see what the answer is against that. Longbowman obviously more range, so that will be really nice for the Viper. Not unlikely that LucifroN will go for an archery range himself, and if you put a Scholar in that archery range, you actually produce way faster. Now double Scholar production here as well, produce them at half the cost.
Yeah, man, this is interesting. There's so many different techs to get. He's definitely going for it. There's a stable now for LucifroN.
Ooh, Horseman play. Not on gold at all.
I feel like, you know, if you're able to just stave off that attack, or even just take out small groups of Viper's numbers, since you should be working more efficiently, in the long run, it'll be better for you. So I think the key here for Viper, as is always the case with range units, is just keep your mass. It's exciting to run forward right now, but you have to make sure you're aware of what's out there. Viper Scout, very active, you'll notice. So he's looking around right now, and if he spots a stable, that'll actually tell him that he could have some horsemen coming forward.
Oh yeah, that Scout is so massive. Needs to go a bit closer, and probably gets the confirmation there. Let me quickly see. Yeah, he seats everything. So that's really good for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he drops barracks pretty soon.
Yeah, does he move out? Yep, he already has the barracks there. And I didn't see the timing on it, but I believe the barracks was an instant reaction to the scout seeing the stable. So that's what you want to see in Age of Empires. You want to see proper scouting, proper reacting, high-level stuff here. And also LucifroN with the same. He's just confirmed the longbowmen were there with his scout. You've got a lot of vision with the scouts here in Age 4. It's insane. I always have to double-check the vision, Nilly, because you really can see a lot here.
Yeah. No, those scouts are nice. And Blacksmith now, you're starting, right? But the question is, like, what upgrade are you getting? Because it takes 4 minutes, 5 seconds to finish. Okay, now 322 because we have the second Scholar in there. Yeah. And that's what you just saw. 40 seconds shorter. Or 43 seconds even.
Yep. Very, very unique Civ. Like, people will have a lot to say about Age 4, but the uniqueness of every Civ is just so... It's so different. And Viper with a good area to pressure here right there on the gold. There's no protection for those Vills. LucifroN, no military here to really defend from this right now.
He has the 4 horsemen at the top, and that could be some nice pickups here for the Viper.
And Viper's going to take that. He's going to take easy 2. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wow.
Oh, double kill. Nice split.
Kill for Viper. That was sick, yeah.
Goes away. Now some spearmen, and I think with 3 spearmen, 4 horsemen probably are not winning that fight.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Viper just needs to make sure he keeps that mass. Especially when you have that snowball Civ. Like, there are situations where you can get ahead in Vills, but then you lose the numbers. I like how consistent some of the Civs that exist in Age 2 and Age 4 play out. They certainly have kept that. And, oh, you see the horsemen there charging. 2 archers. And picking off reinforcements is a very common thing. Nice job there from LucifroN.
Well, let's see if he dives in that deep, though. 1 archer lost a lot of HP.
Uh-oh. On the other side, horseman down. And also there's the Scholar there.
Oh, no. Not the greatest opening for LucifroN here. Viper, he has to be happy with this.
Oh, very happy with this, right?
Oh, Man-at-Arm added? That is surprising to me. Is he expecting that many archers?
Still trying to keep an eye on the Scholar, who does survive, but the villagers are here. Oh, man, and he's brought archers over with the horsemen. He's going to use the archers against these spears, Nilly. And Viper's setting up camp, so his longbowman will actually heal right now, but he did have a misfire there, which definitely is going to hurt, but he also still has spearmen in the fight.
Tries to finish off all those archers. 1 spearman still is getting finished, but I think with the second group coming over, he is fine.
Yeah, kind of looks like it. He did take some losses, but he has been killing many villagers, so Viper doesn't have to worry about any raids, which can be such a pain. And oh, that's I guess it's just the scout, but I feel like LucifroN has kind of struggled here, but I'm wondering like how with Delhi you're able to cope with falling behind like this. You have that very unique Civ where that investment eventually pays off.
Those villagers are so exposed there at the berries, and where is he getting food after that? Probably now moves to the mill at the left-hand side, but that's another exposed resource.
Yeah, it almost feels like he has to fight right now.
Yeah.
He does not have any resources to fall back to. He has to engage. If he can't take a good fight against this, and I don't think he can, this could be very close to over. But here he comes.
Horseman really low HP, though.
They are getting some good hits. And a good micro from LucifroN on the longbowman. There's some weak ones in there. I'm surprised LucifroN did as good as he did in that fight. Let's put it that way. But I don't think it's necessarily the fight he needed.
Well, he wants to buy himself some time to get more on the barriers, but certainly not a great fight for him. Viper with more production behind this one tries to regroup. Now the question is, does he send the next group on the right-hand side, or does he try to attack from the left-hand side?
I think if you have like a stable civilization, you switch sides. But if you're English and you're fighting with archer, men-at-arm, infantry, I think you want to keep it in one spot. Especially because you see he's come out to the berries a few times and he's had to leave. So he clearly wants to be there. Denying the deer as well is so huge here. Ooh, wait a second. I love this, though, from LucifroN. Look at that. He sends the horsemen to the middle, Nilly, because he knows more units will come forward. But it just doesn't feel like the horsemen are really that strong when they need to be.
Well, those men-at-arms at the front are just a crazy tanky unit as well. Makes it really tough for LucifroN to find the good engagement. Now with the archers around and those men-at-arms are still just such a good addition.
Yeah, I like that addition from Viper, who's always been the king of gaining small advantages and snowballing that. He's never been the type of guy to all-in you, as he kills so many vills on the other side. He's just been the type to get small advantages, lead that up to the next age, the next unit. Viper with 26 military, 36 eco. LucifroN, 31 eco, 22 military. And you could argue the weaker units here as well, Nilly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like it. Pound for pound, Viper's so much ahead. And he has two relatively competitive armies that can still take fights, would lose, and now LucifroN tries to take the first good engagement.
Yeah, Viper trying to just get an okay fight here because he is outnumbered. He's doing his best with his longbowman to get out of here, and the archers from LucifroN chasing this down. At the same time, Viper's looping his other army around. He's running into the town center fire. And, you know, maybe LucifroN actually bringing this back right now, Nilly. Viper is down to 18 military, and this could be a little bit of a problem for him if LucifroN can field more units after this fight.
Oh, that was quite some losses here. Now tries to regroup for the first time in quite some time. It feels like, oh, Viper, what is that? How? Okay. Now he starts his tower rush. In the center here. Horseman really low HP, though.
Yeah, Horseman low HP. Man-at-Arms very strong in this position. But Viper's lacking that mass of Longbowmen right now. That's my concern for him. And actually, this could all be cleared up, I think. It's tricky. Very tricky. He's diving in for the Longbowman, LucifroN. That's the theme right now. Sniping all of them. He's still delaying this. God, those men-at-arms are so strong, though. That seems to be the unit Viper needs right now.
Feels a bit like it, yeah. But archers, they can still out-micro in those masses, right? 3 men-at-arms probably not the number he needs. And Viper, is he sending more villagers to the front? Interesting question.
I think LucifroN has brought this back, nearly. And it didn't feel possible. He can take all of his resources at home now. And Viper is falling back, and I don't understand why. I think what it was is he had his group split up. Looping around the back of LucifroN's base was probably a mistake. He probably should have stayed more central so his two armies could become one.
Oy, oy, oy. Scout in the back, not really getting more information. Would love to see another lumber camp here on LucifroN's wood line. Man-at-Arms again to the front. Viper, I think he will finish that tower now.
Does he have the vills here?
I thought he sent them forward. Okay, maybe send them forward and back again.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good fight for Viper, though. He's recovering now. Viper with 38 eco, 17 military. Oh, sorry, that's LucifroN. And yeah, it's actually dead even right now with populations. So Viper should be able to float a vill to send over there.
But I think the longer the game goes, you simply know that the opponent will get more upgrades for free.
Yeah,
and now
true.
even getting a sacred site. And Viper's army is really immobile against the horsemen. Yeah. Oh, this will be tricky.
Definitely be tricky. If Viper could just finish this outpost, it'd be so good for him, as LucifroN's still focus firing down. As he misclicks. Oh, no, he doesn't misclick. Excuse me. He gets the vills. Yeah, he's going to get that. Weird fight, actually.
But lost a lot there. Ran into the men-at-arms to kill those two villagers.
I mean, I guess the question is that position going to be that threatening to LucifroN? I could see why he would want to deny that, but I'm not sure it was worth the losses there.
Well, it's more of a long-term tower push, right? That's the first one to start, and then some will follow up, and then it gets really tricky to engage in that area. And yeah, LucifroN wants to stop it as early as possible.
Yeah, sacred site being contested there. That's good to see. I mean, that is something we haven't talked about, Nilly, but Viper recovering big time here. He will finally complete this outpost, and LucifroN just took some really bad fights over the last few moments.
Oh, it just felt like the one dive against the two villagers there. So many archers were going down.
And you can understand, like, in those moments, you have to make a decision immediately. You can understand why, because that is going to be a strong position for Viper, but maybe you just have to take a good fight against the army and let that outpost go up. That's the thing about castles or keeps or anything like that. You have to decide in the moment. Not so easy to do that.
They just have to be pulled. Lots of idols here at the right-hand side. LucifroN, where is he going? Still no lumber camp here.
Oh man, the villager's moving around, and Viper finds himself back in a good position with his mass, and he wants to make another outpost. I just love the Man-at-Arm addition, Nilly. We have seen so little of that today, and it's looked to be the key for Viper, even more than the Longbowman.
Yeah, well, it's certainly a crazy unit. I think at the start of the day we saw some, I don't even remember, was it the Casva Vortex games? Yeah, Vortex actually played it a bit.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Game I think I missed, so.
Maybe. And yeah, obviously English, one of the few civilizations that even has access to Man-at-Arms that early.
Wow, and this fight just swings right back. It's so cool, man. Like, we're obviously unsure on some of these fights compared to what we would be with Age 2, but LucifroN's not finished yet. Is there something else Viper needs to do here? Do you flirt with the idea of stopping production, Nilly, and going up to Castle, or is that just too risky?
I think with how much problem LucifroN has with expanding, I think just continue Feudal Age army makes lots of sense.
Yeah, and it just finished these outposts, too. The outpost could be so strong.
Neutral control on all sacred sites again.
Yeah. Normally what I would say is that you'd want to peel off a couple horsemen and try and get into Viper's eco, but LucifroN's in a position where I think he needs everything at home right now. But it's 75 pop versus 74 Nilly, and this just continues to be exciting for everyone at home as we see this fight here. I like the horsemen, man. Horsemen just they're actually doing an okay job. The key is that the archers are all focusing on each other behind this usually.
Oh, and now the archers are all going down of LucifroN, I believe. Oh, this is so unfortunate. Oh, horsemen have to die, and the Men-at-Arms, just such a good unit against Feudal Age army.
I mean, they're even sick against archers. That was one of the first things that I was told is...
Yeah.
It's 90 and AW4. Do not expect archers to just counter Men-at-Arms, and we're seeing that here. It's a very big difference.
Yeah, heavy armor. They're a bit like of a light Huskar if you want to make another Age of Empires 2 comparison. And it looks really good for the Viper here to maybe close out this game here.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense if he can clear this up. He's got a lot of villagers exposed. This has been the area. And Viper will complete the outpost. So even if he doesn't finish it off now, he's just so much closer to put the Man-at-Arms on the farms. And they are slicing up those villagers. The outpost completes as well. Viper will take another good fight. LucifroN dropping pop despite having decent amounts of military, but it's nothing close to Viper. Viper wins, and what a good game it was to open up the series, Nilly.
Oh yeah, really intense one. And those Men-at-Arms, they really performed incredibly well.
And like, my question is, what does LucifroN do differently then? Right? Obviously, the whole idea with his Civ is that you want your upgrades, your upgrades are free. You kind of ease into a stage of the game and maybe Castle or Imp where it's easier for you to do things. But like, comp-wise, what mistakes did LucifroN make there?
Honestly, I don't have enough idea about this. I think Men-at-Arms aren't easily counted in Feudal Age.
Seems like it.
And once you're in Castle Age, like 2 crossbow, just shrek all those Men-at-Arms.
Yep, exactly.
Crossbow not that great against longbows again, though.
Tricky, right? I mean, Viper understood that perfectly. I also think LucifroN took a few bad engagements in this game. Like there was, I don't even remember what it was, but there was just so much from the Viper, and he was forcing so many reactions. And if you give Viper a small lead, he's normally not going to let it go. Economically, if you look at what was brought in behind that, Viper had more gold and more food. It was very close to nearly. Like I could definitely see the series going the distance.
Yeah. This one engagement next to the tower just felt like, losing 4 or 5 archers for free.
Yeah.
What a good game to start off the set.
Yeah, seriously. And it was just such an interesting moment, right? Because a lot of players wouldn't make that outpost there. And it forced LucifroN to choose stop outpost and take a bad fight, or take a semi-good fight but give up the position. So I just credit to Viper there for even being okay with losing a vill or 2 or 3 going for that position there. And I think that's the first time that I've seen an outpost positional push in Feudal Age today. I know that it happened later on in games in Castle Age, but I don't think we saw it in Feudal. So it seems to be something we could see more of as well.
True, it's actually something we've seen quite a lot on the ladder from Mongol players, but we haven't seen that in the tournament.
Yeah, it makes sense with Mongols, but just cool to see something different there from the Viper, who now cannot play with the English.
But French is still an option.
Yep, still got Mongols out there. Viper recently said something along the lines of how his opinion on Mongols had changed. I think, when the game comes out, everyone's rushing to make their videos and their tier lists and give opinions on Civs, but
Do I hate
then
that?
the outlook changes very quickly.
A tier list on day 3. I can't take it.
I know that bothers you, but people will love it regardless. And a lot of people do that stuff because they know viewers are going to like it.
But why do they like to get lied to? It's like that. No, yeah, maybe. Maybe I'm just different.
I mean, listen, you get annoyed by tier lists, which somehow hold weight in people's eyes 3 days after a game comes out. I don't like lack of UI and customizable hotkeys on a game that was released publicly. So eventually, Nilly, the tier lists will be more accurate, and the game will be a bit more customizable, hopefully, and things will improve. But I'm just as picky as you, just in different ways. Let's put it that way. Did they say the map?
I don't know.
I didn't see the map, but I can see it will be French versus French. I don't know too much about LucifroN's preferences, but based on game number 1, I'm sure he'd be capable on land maps against Viper.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I'm not sure if Viper trained that much French v French. Huh.
Isn't like every ladder game he plays French v French?
I would be surprised. No.
I know he's been like picking a day to train with different civs. The thing is, it's very hard to replicate French v French versus LucifroN, right?
Okay, Boulder Bay apparently is the map, which is really bad for me.
Why is that bad for you?
Because it's the water map. I can't.
That's true. You
Stream without lag.
Weird. Well, we can hope
see.
that LucifroN or Viper has a better build order, but
in a short game or a big land attack.
Yeah. My expectation here is that we're going to see the meta, which is racing to Hulk. And the good news is, like, if you don't want a long water game because your PC's struggling right now or stream or whatever, normally all-ins on water end fairly quickly. But that's also coming from a lot of AoE2 experience. Now you have the fact that docks will heal your ships. So I don't know how much that plays into a Hulk v Hulk battle.
I think it's relatively defensive. And then you hope that you outmax your opponent and then make a go with a big mass, move in, pray. That's my approach.
Yeah, exactly. Move in and pray. Yeah. That's my approach on islands as well, except I should have prayed before I landed the archery ranges instead of after. I'm never going to live that down. Granted, I could have just let that story die and never brought it up, and no one would have ever known.
That wouldn't be you. That wouldn't be you.
No.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be me. It's too many funny things that happen, bro, so they have to be talked about.
It makes sense, right? You're a storyteller.
Okay. I guess that's true. Like, I like to extract as much as I can out of a certain thing, right? Like, the game... AoE 4 is the same, but AoE 2 even more so for me is, like, there's so many details. And there's so many factors that go into every single moment. So I like to dive deep into whatever it is.
Well, I think RTS games are something beautiful for that.
Yeah. And also with the Age of Empires series, you have like the historical aspect, which is initially what drew me in. You know, the swords and the arrows. I like that. No offense to StarCraft as a competitive game, but visually, it does nothing for me whatsoever.
Actually, really like the background of the maps. Like the map is like floating, and you can actually see like the planets and stars in the background. That's really Craigasm for me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nilly, we have game number 2, and I think it's fair to say here that if Viper were to win here, he is the heavy favorite to then close out the series because these guys are so close. LucifroN's going to want to take this one. We have a French mirror matchup on Boulder Bay, which normally leads to a lot of water control. French have the cheap lumber camps. They can immediately get to wood. Leads to a cheap dock. Leads to cheap fishing ships. And then a race to the next age. A race to control those fishing ships.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure about the meta. My experience is that Castle Age actually doesn't matter that much. Because you already have the Hulk, which is the Castle Age unit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get one more upgrade for another cannon and one more attack, which doesn't matter a lot, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think this is actually quite a long Feudal Age play.
Would you say that water is, and let's say this map compared to Baltic or Mediterranean in AoE2, would you say water is more snowbally or less snowbally in AoE4?
Well, in this one, it's more...
You just thought of the
more snowbally because you don't have demos in Feudal.
Yeah.
In Castle Age, it's similar. And this map is even more... Water is even more important. Because on Medi, you can at least sneak and try to make some attacks on land from 2 sides. This one is only one side.
I also think fishing ships seem to give you so much more value in AoE4 because it's additional eco population, but then the fish, even like the shore fish, have 1,000 food. So granted, gather rates and all that needs to be taken into account to make a true comparison, but that's just a lot of food. So, I mean, if you lose water, the opponent can have endless fishing ships for quite some time. So I definitely think it's more snowbally. I think they've made a lot of correct moves with certain aspects of AoE4, but I think seeing as like AoE2 was already kind of questioned in some ways for its water play, I think that water leaves a lot to be desired right now.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Feedback is flying in. Developers are listening to it. And LucifroN actually pretty unfortunate. If you look at the minimap, far away from deep fish, which is obviously faster than shorefish. And I still have to address it because some people obviously are new here. The game itself is not lagging. Some of my OBS settings are not pretty, and that's why whenever I show water, it's lagging for some reason.
Sorry, that sucks, dude. Technology, man. As Viper's gonna slay the sheep as his villager's being attacked here by the scout. Look at that. Viper says, "Don't you attack me," and she doesn't seem...
She's not fighting back.
Yeah.
Can't you fight uphill? What's happening there?
She looked very dazed, you know? And now he clicked the dock, which I believe is a mistake. What is this right now?
Trying to lower the HP on the dock?
I think he misclicked it and looked away to do something else and now realizes and then... Well, he does force 2 villagers to go back home. I think that's worth it in the end.
Viper only forced 1 to go back. So that's nice.
Okay.
So what are we upping with? Is it still School of Cavalry? Probably, right?
Yeah, I think... What's the other option again? It's...
An economic... I think a market? Isn't it a market style?
That would have been my guess, but I don't see how the market helps. I think maybe further down the line, going for the market approach could help you... Like, you get better water builds down, like maybe sell food to get wood or whatever, but sell food to get gold. But yeah, the expectation here is probably School of Cavalry, and you get there for Viper. LucifroN doesn't have the res yet.
Kind of weird, right? Food not that high. Way too many villagers on gold early on.
Yep, that's probably the difference here.
Prepares the villagers now.
Oh, he needed to drop off food first. Oh, man. Like, he left before he had food.
Didn't drop with the fishing ships either. Okay, now finally has the resource. I think he will build up a mass amount. Chamber of Commerce! Look at that. Acts as a market.
Okay, so acts as a market. All traders and trade ships return 30% more resources to any market or dock. Okay, so that's actually the wrong one. I was confusing it with another civ. I forget what Civ has the one which is like the better rates at the market. I think that's Abbasid, maybe?
That's Rus.
Bruce, okay, sorry.
Yeah, we had that in the Hera game earlier. And it's a
Yeah.
really easy wall off here for LucifroN. That's why he went for it. As you can see, it's like 30 wood or something, and he's fully walled.
Yep.
Fishing
Viper
ship
gets
count?
go.
9 against 6.
Wait a second, what's going on here? Oh, okay, it just didn't show the progress for me, but Viper is indeed still making his landmark. Say that's about 70%. You look at LucifroN. LucifroN has... he's a bit behind, but ultimately it's not the biggest deal as we see 2 docks for him as well.
Now the big question is, will Viper go for any knights? Obviously wouldn't be the greatest choice, because against the walls I wouldn't get in. Maybe on the long run we will get some sneaky moves with some transporters. Okay, instant
what's
Hulk.
interesting here, sorry to interrupt, Nilly, is that Viper is making a knight because he has not scouted the walls. So he assumes it might be open. So he's the difference in, despite the mirror matchup, it's a difference in approach here for these players.
Let's see if Viper will adjust. Double dock for both of them.
Yep.
Still deep
And
fish
we'll
for the
see-
Viper. No deep fish for LucifroN. Knight is cancelled.
Knight is canceled. Okay, so Viper spotted it, cancels it. I think that's a good decision there. And you see more wood and gold income per minute for Viper right now. Those stats might even out a little bit, but in theory, that means more Hulks for him. Wait a second. We have additional sales being researched by LucifroN. Increased movement speed of all ships by 15%.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Relatively cheap.
that-
50 food, 125 gold. And
So
look at
Waldorf-
that. More Waldorf. He is expecting a landing. He
Whoa.
scouted the School of Cavalry. He's scared. Nice Waldorf.
Is it a surprise to you to see that research for the faster ships coming in this early? For me, that's a surprise.
You don't have enough wood to for 2 Hulks at the start. So not really, no.
Well, Viper did, so that's why I was shocked.
Okay.
1v2 right now, so Viper may be benefiting from the better balance, at least towards water. But I kind of like the idea of maybe going in with 1 Hawk to snipe fish. And you mentioned the micro, you can actually fire faster with the Hawk if you micro it. So I guess you could flee attack a little bit easier. I don't know, man. Scout goes
Easy.
down there, LucifroN.
Easy kill. 3 Hulks out now against... Oh, it's pretty far away from the third one.
Yeah. Yeah, very far away from the third one. Viper just with more gold income right now, but he is behind on food and wood, so in theory, if they're going to race Castle Age, that'll help, but I'm not so sure. I wonder what Viper does when he sees the extra movement speed.
6 fishing ships against 10 fishing ships, so... LucifroN won't mind camping for now.
This is... It's so slow.
Yeah.
Imagine if like, oh, AoE 4 esports, let's go. Oh, let's buckle up, baby. Let's get ready. And then you're just like,
For everyone who doesn't know why there's grass in the water, it's kind of the forest. Like, you can have ships in there and you can't look inside. So you can
it's
hide
like-
in there.
Yeah. Which is interesting because, like, being invisible in a forest makes sense. Having a ship not be visible when it sails through moss is probably not the most realistic. As at this point, LucifroN just looking for Viper. He doesn't know where Viper is.
Very tiny ships.
Yeah, it must be. Or it's very high grass. We have the small grass mod. Oh wow, okay.
4v4.
Big moment here. All right. Remember, ships also heal next to the docks, so the defenders should have the advantage here.
Yeah, quite easily.
Yeah.
Viper-
Heal pretty far away from the docks as well. Like, I thought you'd have to be a little closer there.
3
And
docks,
this is-
actually.
Drilling stuff. Yeah, 3 docks, lots of fishing ships. It's crazy how many you can have. I think he added more nearly. He's at 10. I thought he was at 8 before. But I could be misremembering things.
But still shorefish. Well, if he's at 10, at some point he was at 8.
Ah ha ha ha.
So you're right.
You know what I meant, Mr. Technical.
Yeah, he has been at 10 for quite some time.
All right. Well, thanks for keeping track there. Racking my brain on how to spice this one up right now. All Vipers... Oh, it's making a house. Okay. I thought it was more exciting.
Blacksmith could be an option. Gives you +1 attack if you upgrade. Don't think it's the major thing, though.
Yeah, it's almost like this thing has 100 attack, right? So, like, what does fletching, or not fletching, sorry, what does that +1 attack even really do in the grand scheme of things? Besides +1, which is pretty insignificant. I noticed the same with some of the upgrades on the knights, right? Like the knight, I think, 29 base for a royal knight, and then you get the upgrade and it's 30. I feel like
that's with charge. I think it's 22 instead of 23 then, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but still, like...
7v7 out on the map. Viper could lose one there, bit exposed. Gets away.
Yeah, gets away indeed. Plus, he could always get home to repair.
Viper he splits his army, which is a really rare thing on water games.
Yeah.
Micro spear.
Viper's got decent position to force LucifroN away from his own docks.
Quite some fishing ships, Tristan.
Oh yeah, I see that over there. Fishing ships down. LucifroN looking to sail home, and I think Viper's just purely benefiting from the numbers he's made in this game, Nilly. He is ahead by 2 military right now. That does factor in a scout, but oh my goodness, what a crazy fight this is. They're trying to micro back and forth because they can fire faster if they do. You can't actually dodge shots. But what a crazy one is these ships are going to sink. And it looks very even, but maybe LucifroN's taking this now.
Oh, I really don't like that Viper sent 2 Hulks away.
It's like he took out the fishing ships because he did that, but now he doesn't have the numbers for the main battle. He can't even get close to his docks to heal up right now. Fishing ships down for Viper in return. Viper does have more resources floating right now, Nilly, but I'm not sure that's a good thing.
Fishing ships now hiding in the docks as well. Won't find all the kills. We are seeing the Viper now going up into Castle Age, which is quite interesting. Built it with 26 villagers.
What? What is the guild hall going to give him?
Some resources, but I'm surprised as well. Maybe he wants to go for demos.
I mean...
Could be the only thing that kind of saves him.
And honestly, the only thing that saves the water meta for me right now in terms of excitement. Because, like, from what I've seen, you could definitely take out a few hawks with some demos. Rushes that down, but at what price, Nilly, or what cost? He's getting overrun here, I guess would be the way to say it, or oversailed. Ripped to Viper on water for now.
Okay, 2 there, and Viper indeed goes for 1 demo, goes for 2 demos. Tries to sneak around. They do some real splash damage, but yeah. I still don't see how they will get to those Hulks.
I mean... Yeah, I guess, like, LucifroN might be less focused at the moment. He might think that he can add fishing ships, but he's still adding more Hulks. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Viper. I don't know what more you do. This is what we talked about with the map, but there's the demos. Split them up here, Nilly. He's got them on either side. Is there a world where you demo fish right now?
I think that's kind of what you have to do, but it's still quite a costly investment. I think he will find 4 kills there, or even 5 kills at the right-hand side. Left-hand side, there's actually nothing.
See, what's the vision look like on a demo? Not that great, but he saw 1 fishing ship. Oh, if he only knew there was 5 of them there.
Well, he's thinking, okay, my opponent has to be on deep fish. Little did he know that there was no deep fish.
Right? And he uses a demo, against 1. I don't know if that's worth it. He's looking for more, and at this point, LucifroN should notice this and split up his fish. Yeah, look at that. Good job from LucifroN. He only loses 1. And so demo attempt for Viper not giving him what he would have wanted there, as he has now lost his docks to the Hulks from LucifroN.
Viper LTC, he is in Castle Age. LucifroN on the other side. Let's take a look at his resources. 40 food.
Yeah,
He's
really.
far away from castling this.
And he's
far
making
away.
stables and a barracks now.
Another lumber camp. Oh, this is. Honestly, I thought the game was over, but
Yeah.
Viper should be having a way bigger lead on land than I thought.
Well, like, I think what happened for LucifroN was he's all this wood and all this gold income, but now he almost won water too easily, and he didn't think about other aspects of the game here. Yeah, like taking that boar would be really good, you'd think, but he's got way too much on wood right now.
And look at how inefficiently. Like, he built 5 lumber camps next to another, but then didn't build one for 2 screens.
I really wish I knew more. Granted, I'll never put in the time, but I really wish I knew more about some of the other esports he played. Because, like, okay, as he's going to make his guild hall now.
LucifroN. Well, he was Warcraft 3 player, a StarCraft 2 player, and Heroes of the Storm player.
No. I know the games, but I'm talking about in terms of, like, the drop-off buildings. Because it's not the first time you and I have looked at his lack of lumber camps.
Well, economy is completely different, right? For Warcraft, he was playing Orc, I believe. So you simply go for like 9 workers, and then you never look at your eco again, unless there's one scenario where you build another 5. And in StarCraft 2, I think he played Terran. So that is basically, whenever you feel behind, you just generate 10 villagers from the sky that will save your economy.
From the sky, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, he didn't have to focus on efficiency of lumber camps as much. But he's fine. He does arrive to the Castle Age alongside Viper. 80 eco right now for LucifroN. Viper sits at 75, and that is a lot of fishing ships there for LucifroN. Viper did try to dock kind of to the left of this giant lake, Nilly, and that got denied. So he really wanted to get a demo. I can imagine demoing 10 ships. That would be so epic, but it's not possible for him right now.
What LucifroN should do now is actually trade on water. It's more efficient than on land. It's really open area, and Viper can't contest it at all. Will also push his economy.
Yeah, coastal trade post there. You can trade with those posts on land and on water. Or when I say those posts, there's the land one as well. Actually, that's a good question. Can you land trade with a coastal trade post in AV4?
Can you land trade? Land trade. Send
Can you
traders or trade ships to trade with this building. So yeah, you can.
All right. Oh, all right. I guess I should read more frequently. All right. Well, there you have the veteran Royal Knight. Okay, LucifroN. And it's kind of funny. Viper is up at the top of the hill, and he even made an outpost there just to get some vision and control the area, I guess. Prepping to go late. And the LucifroN is just hugging the shoreline right now, which could be a problem for Viper. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of defense in his base. He's more so defended the other area. Did that Hawk just go down?
Even the amount of villagers. I didn't see anything, though.
Yeah, Hawk just randomly went down next to the Knight.
Is it? Are ships burning? No, they're not, right?
I was wondering if it was like the buildings where it would burn, but I don't know if it would make sense for him to delete that, so I'm confused by that. But yeah, anyways, I mean, it's one Royal Knight. We're getting excited because OMG, something other than Hulks, and it's not really the most important thing. Hey, Nilly, you don't have to look at water as much. This is good.
This is really good for me, yeah.
Yeah. Royal Knights are always felt like the meta in your normal Arabia games, Franks v Franks. At this point, I'm kind of seeing LucifroN invest into that. Viper is behind in eco, and there's just so many fishing ships. You really should look at one of the docks, the starting dock, or close to that for LucifroN. He's got like 30 fishing ships. It's crazy. Just don't know if there's an argument for how efficient that is long term in AoE4.
Well, deep fish is respawning. So that's actually pretty solid.
That's sick, yeah. And the Royal Knights for LucifroN pressuring Viper. Viper is reacting. He's going for his trusty man-at-arms defense. And I think the veteran knights will wreck that. They just have to get away from the TC for now, as Viper will pull the pikemen over.
I think I would have liked to keep a bit closer to the water. Like 3 tiles further to the right.
It's just kind of funny how Viper's got this base up on the hill. And, like, there's his army down here, and they're just passing it. It's not like LucifroN has any clue.
Ooh.
Nor would he want to push that right now, I don't think.
He's going for battering rams now.
Okay.
Viper,
Go on the offensive.
pop 140, 165 for LucifroN.
So much pop. Like, this exploded. Absolutely exploded. Feels even faster than what we've seen in some of the other games, but I'm probably wrong on that, as you see to keep firing on the buildings here. So now LucifroN knows that Viper has that hill.
But Viper knows about the push coming in then. So that's nice for him. Sends some men-at-arms over there. A red palace now. That is... acts as a keep. So another keep there. And now the big push here. Tries to deal with the rams.
Yeah, tries to deal with the rams. Ram will be dealt with, but so will the spearmen there. So if the ram was just used a little more patiently, I think that TC could have actually gone down here, but it doesn't matter. These Royal Knights will run in anyways, nearly, and Viper is scrambling for defense right now.
Uh-oh, pop 170. The Viper is sitting at 123, so heavily behind. Pikeman numbers not there like he wanted them to be. And now Barracks producing more and more, but it just feels like so much eco's idle.
Oh, man, and he is on the way to H4, but... I mean, what will he have in the bank when he makes it there? If you look at his current resources, it's a lot of food, a lot of gold. But
I thought
man,
this was H4.
No, Viper's on the way right now.
Okay.
LucifroN could also be on the way right behind this, and these Royal Knights are just dominating. It's a little messy for Viper. I think it's going to be real tough for him to defend everything right now.
Tries to... main TC obviously can fit 20 villagers, so that's what he is going for. Maybe even try to get something out of the guild hall. Could be an option here. Tricky spot. And Viper, I think he makes the defense happen, but still so much map control for LucifroN.
If we had a statistic on our overlay for idle time, it would be insane for Viper. Like, half of his eco just went idle right there. But he does hold on. He is at 126 population. He will also be in the Imperial Age faster. So I feel like, with the position Viper has, with the keep on the hill and everything, and being faster to the next age, if he can find a unit that works well against these Royal Knights, he could maybe push this back still.
Well, now he technically could upgrade his knights more, right? And they would just slaughter the Castle Age knights. But I think maybe just pikemen could be an option. Obviously still double keep setup here will make it easier. I just would have wished the keep to be like 3 tiles closer. But now, I think now he's reaching it. Look at that, some dead bodies next to the shore.
Keep is so clutch for Viper. And he also knows that LucifroN's not trying to take the other hill yet, because he's got the outpost there. And LucifroN is not trading at all with that trade post, which I think is something he should be doing for long-term golds. He lost a lot of units there, still in the Castle Age nearly. He has not advanced, and he doesn't really have the gold right now to be able to advance to the next stage.
Wow, Viper did some crazy Springer placement or something.
Yeah,
like that one keep is the red palace is just going ham.
Yeah,
on the
also
units.
Trading long distances right now. He's trading so far to that corner. I think LucifroN has made a misplay with the map. I think he thought he would win with the fish boom and that he could just push Viper's main base. He didn't scout. He didn't deny Viper's hill. And that is so important on this map, as you have the keeps, you have the cannons. Viper's in this game. Definitely.
155 population for him, 185 for LucifroN, still 30 ahead, but it feels like Viper is indeed making some defenses happen.
I mean, feels weird to me, but I think Viper might even be winning right now with lesser pop, because long term on this map, you want trade and you want that corner control, and that is all about the Viper right now. LucifroN might eventually trade on water, has not done that, and he's lost so many gold units to these defense from Viper.
Would have been such an easy investment, just 10 traders on water there.
Yeah. I mean, you can understand the overconfidence, especially if you have a little bit of experience with how fish booming can operate, but feel like it's a little short-sighted maybe on a map like this to think that you're just going to roll over the Viper. Interesting to see what Viper's up to here. You see this cannon, Nilly? Oh my god, he took out the Hawks, and he's keeping the cannon alive.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So sick.
Pretty nice defense for sure, and we see the Viper also defending at the right-hand side. More towers there could make a lot of sense, and Viper also getting quite some control with the gold at the top there. More buildings. Indeed, it feels like Viper is controlling this one.
Yeah, like, LucifroN might have more pop right now, but he's got 127 villagers, and he does not have a lot of gold income. If you look at the income per minute... Okay, never mind. LucifroN's actually winning with gold. But I genuinely still feel like Viper will be better off with the long-term gold.
Oh, but the two bombards, or the one cannon and the one bombard, now completely exposed. Not the greatest thing. Doesn't even know what to do. Just focuses down on two hulks and then probably has to accept his losses.
Maybe. The villagers are kind of giving them a bit more life. The pikemen are trying to loop around the cliff. Look at the vills distracting.
Actually, wow.
Can Viper save this?
I think he's saving one.
Yeah, the second one surely will go down. It depends if LucifroN commits. I mean...
Is he really saving both of them?
That's ridiculous, man. And Viper... How, dude? Feels like classic Viper, how he just falls behind, but sees his win condition and is able to somehow claw it back. What's his pop right now? 163, Nilly. As we see buildings on the hill to further control this area.
LucifroN only now reaching Imperials. Only now he can go for bombards himself. But that's a lot of control that he will lose at the front. But he builds a keep. And around that, all the stables.
Yeah.
20% cheaper night production for him. Tries to go with the transporter. Tries to land some.
Ooh, that would be good. I mean, there is a continuous burper in Viper's base from these knights. So he's... Burper.
Ah, okay.
There we go. Sorry, higher pitch for you. But it does feel like even building up stables or any military buildings on the shoreline over there for LucifroN would be good. Like, I actually would prefer, instead of him transporting units across Nilly, transport villagers over there and make buildings.
Maybe some rams would be nice. Because right now, main defense is only pikemen. Well, actually, some men-at-arms, elite men-at-arms even. So the defense looks really solid.
Yeah. Wow, okay. Here come more veteran knights. And just so many spears for the Viper. I mean, the raids continue here. You got to give LucifroN credit. But it feels like he's just banging his head against the wall right now. And Viper will be trading. Which LucifroN still stubbornly is not doing. It bothers me so much. But maybe he feels like he's going to have the gold in the long term here. He does have 1,300 in the bank.
Both players pop limit now. Viper controls a sacred site and is trading, like you said, multiple times. As you said, multiple times. And still bombards against no bombards, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, he's got fortifications. Here come the Elite Royal Knights, though! The Pike's gonna get there in time. Viper gets in position. The Viper is making the counter here, but those Royal Knights have proved to be so strong today.
But also so costly, Tristan.
Yeah.
With that little map control on the mainland, I think he will be running out of gold pretty soon, no?
Yeah.
How much does he have? 1.4k? 3.4k? That's it?
Yep. But he has 46 on gold, Nilly. That's not going to last long. 46 on gold. And now he is going to kill some trade. That should tell him, hey, maybe I should trade. That would be a good idea. T90 would be much happier with me then. He does have his own bombards here, but he did just lose his keep in the center and some of these buildings. Viper in such a good spot now. It's only 30 military right now for LucifroN, and the Viper is at 64.
This should not be a thing. Viper now goes for hand cannoneers as well, and goes for basically the dream composition.
Yeah. He held off by not spending gold. He invested into the trade, which will give him more long-term gold, and LucifroN never did that. And I think LucifroN is starting to pay the price now. Cost-efficient trades for the Viper. Hand cannons behind this are insane, and we have not seen them yet today. And I think Viper just won the game. Feels insane to say, but I think he just won the game.
It certainly feels like it. Pushing so deep is basically pop limit. LucifroN, oh, even 180 as well, but that's a lot of population on water, and simply the army strength is not there. 25 military only.
Look at his base right now. Look at that one gold mine. There's 38 villagers around a gold about to run out. They are soon going to go to the next gold mine, which only has 500 gold. I know it's a new game, Nilly, and we have plenty to say about how amazing this was from the Viper, but you gotta do better if you're LucifroN when you gain a lead here. I think we have to be more critical of that. It is possible maybe he didn't know that that the trade post was there, but doesn't it show? Like, shouldn't he see that?
Especially as French, you see it at the start. Yeah.
It doesn't actually show on the minimap, Nilly.
Okay, well, it's still always there on this map, right? You should analyze it.
Yeah. I think he didn't know it was there. I think he forgot about it and never traded there for that reason.
Now, 69 idle villagers here for LucifroN.
Yeah,
He can't provide anything anymore.
Yeah, and I think he has the worst comp now. Like even if he continually had the gold, I think he has the worst comp. He doesn't have space.
Viper right. Springles against the Bombards, last night attack, and I think this will be the GG indeed. Viper takes the 2-0. This should not have been his game.
I agree. I agree, Nilly. I agree, but what a great job from Viper. Realized if I just take that position on the hill, if I fortify that up, and then just defend from whatever he sends my way, because he would have known that LucifroN was in a good position to do that. Could hold on. He could trade. I feel like it's a case of Viper doing everything that he needed to do to have a chance in this game, and LucifroN not following up on some good moments in the early stages.
Oh man, just the economy from LucifroN when we looked at him winning water just felt so off.
Yeah, I agree. Even before Castle Age, yeah, you're right. His eco was not balanced.
0 villagers on food, horrible lumber camps, not adding more fish.
Yep.
Then he rushed out. He used the market, which was nice. Rushed out the building, but his transition simply was not there. Not on stone, and just fell behind because he couldn't really add town centers.
Nilly, also, he seemed pretty happy for a guy who wasn't trading. He seemed fairly happy tossing away units, like one here, one there. That's good for early Castle Age, but once Viper's above like 100 pop with keeps and whatnot, I don't think streaming in a night here or there is the way to play that map. You got to take that corner. You have to take advantage of it. It didn't do that. And we said after game one that with the level being this high and things being so close, it's going to be very difficult if Viper goes up 2-0 for LucifroN, to respond. And Viper's got to be feeling great right now.
3.5 minute difference in Castle Age as well.
It's so weird. It's normally not like that at all. Normally, you're maybe a minute behind, then you have fish, and then you have greater eco. So,
still, I hate that the Viper sent those 2 Hulks away. Tried to snipe fish. I think this put him into the weird spot where we caught him behind.
Yeah, because he had numbers initially, and peeling off was maybe a little too cute. What you need to do.
Yeah. He thought he could defend, but he didn't micro his 2 ships at home then either.
I would need to go back and look at the water more because this is still new to us, but I feel like there's also a chance there that like maybe having 30 fishing ships is too much in AoE4. But yeah, also worth saying, Nilly, that the trade post was never scouted. The coastal trade area was never scouted. He probably never played a game there where he felt he needed trade. I don't know. Would it have been different if it was visible at the start or if he was more prepared?
I think you get more gold there. I don't think not having the gold was a key in the end.
Yeah, I agree.
But if the game continued another 5 minutes, Viper has another winning condition for himself.
Yeah, like on Arabia or an open land map, you probably can stream in the nights and have success. I think on that map, Viper made the right play. It's about fortifying up and really holding that position there in the corner. Oof. I'm excited to see if Recon, not Recon, if LucifroN can respond here now. I don't really know too much about his mentality, but certainly he knows that it's going to be tough now because he'd have to win 3 straight against the Viper.
Mm-hmm. Well, he has been in tougher and bigger tournaments before.
True.
And he has been behind as well. I don't know. I didn't follow that much, I have to say. Yeah. But
Also,
he had great runs in big games.
yeah,
I
yeah,
quickly
of
need
course.
to get a tissue. Right back.
Yeah, go for it. I think like for LucifroN, this is probably like a walk in the park. Like AoE4 tournament or a new game that just came out. In terms of pressure, there's probably not a lot of nerves. Whereas if you're known for something, he's not known as an Age of Empires player. Maybe there's more pressure, more nerves associated with that. We'll have 3 minutes. The admins did not say what the map is yet, and it doesn't show it on the loading screen, but it will be Delhi for LucifroN, which he lost with in Game 1. Viper cannot play with Franks or the English because he won with those civs in this best of 5. Abbasid Dynasty, thanks to the viewers around the scene right now, listening in, having fun, enjoying. Coming back from a 2-0 should be called pulling an MBL. I mean, MBL's not the first person to do it, but that might have been one of the better reverse sweeps. Viper's even had some interesting reverse sweeps in his day, I think. If I'm not mistaken.
WSVG Finals, 2-0 down against Mr. Yo.
Yeah, man, I remember watching that. I just started getting casting a couple months before that.
Mm-hmm.
And watching you and Nelson cast that final was crazy. It's also crazy how professional we've all gotten since then, to be honest.
I have no idea how that event. Holy fuck.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know that was brutal.
I think I will do like a 5-hour talk show at one day with Nelson about that.
Yeah. Maybe it's still too soon. 2015 was... Wait, was that late 2014 or early 2015?
It was... Let me think. Wasn't I in... Oh, I don't know. No, China was 2016.
Yeah, it was before that. I think...
15, Dave says.
I think it was like January or February, because I recall it being cold outside, so that would make sense. And I lived in PA at that time.
It was warm in the Maldives.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why you can't figure it out. All right. So LucifroN, when he played Delhi before, he invested into the not the monks, the scholars, excuse me. So that seems to be the approach you have to take with Delhi. And Viper, kind of along the same lines. I mean, he can go for the expansions on his House of Wisdom. So there's definitely that invest into the long term that sits well with these civilizations.
I have to say I'm really enjoying it today. It's just so diverse. I think I would have liked the games to be a bit longer, a bit more often. But yeah, I think if we twist some balance things, this is, I'm really starting to love it. I was not sure going into the day how much I would enjoy casting a full day of H4.
Yeah, I think for me it's a time thing. I'm maybe not as ready. Like I still have my concerns. I think that I think some aspects of this game will get old for me rather quickly. But I have enjoyed the casting today as well, and a lot of that has to do with you, to be honest. But that as well as having different names, like casting a scene where results aren't necessarily as expected is just a new experience for us, right?
Mm-hmm. And that will stay for quite some time, I believe.
Yeah, it depends on time investment, I suppose. But yeah, here we go. LucifroN needs to recover here in the blue. LucifroN playing again as the Delhi. You got Viper playing as the Abbasid, and they're quite far apart. This is I almost said Chippendale. This is Hillendale, I think, right?
Something like that. And Viper has a bugged map here.
Does he?
Yeah. Like I'm not sure how the devs allowed that one.
I'm unfortunately not even picking up on what the bug is right now.
Well, how many entrances should his base have?
Well, it should be 3, I believe, and there's not one up the front, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Huh.
Is that better? That should be better for Viper, right?
It depends. If he wants to play defensively, that's better for him. If he wants to play aggressively, that's bad for him.
You know what's weird is like, I mean, I guess we're not gonna see this, but it's much more difficult for the enemy to raid his hunt
Yeah, true.
because that wood line is covering the opening, and so his hunt is completely protected. This is
Yeah.
this is the typical Viper map hacks.
And you can't look up the cliff, right?
Yeah.
So you won't get the snipe uphill even if you have archers.
I guess it's not the worst bugged map ever, but I would say that that is definitely not how the map is intended. I guess on the bright side, it's not normally an aggressive map. We saw our longest game today between Hera and Recon here. So what's fun is I think Hera Recon was Abbasid or Abbasid, whatever, and that was a mirror matchup, and we got to see kind of what worked for Recon to win that game and close out the series. Now, like I've never seen these civs in the Imperial Age against each other, so who knows what's going to be on the cards.
I have no idea. Daily Abbasid. It feels like Abbasid. They just felt really strong.
I wasn't convinced that like their units necessarily seemed really strong though. It was just the units that Recon made were better than Hera's units because he played it like H2.
Well, simply like the mass of Springults, right? And then we had one engagement where it was Recon with 11 Springults and Hera with 3 Springults left or something.
Yeah, but then Hera recovered from that, so I don't know. It's tricky. I mean, you could say that Abbasid looked really strong after that game because Recon won, but you could also say Abbasid looked really bad in that game because Hera lost with the same tip. So it's all about perspective, I guess. But yeah, to explain the basic thing here, and this is the big thing about the civilization that Viper has, is the House of Wisdom has tiers to it. And if you research these wings, or construct the wings, you then work your way up through the tiers. And you can see there, tier 1, and structures, gives you plus 10% gathering rate, and it goes down to eventually the 30 and 60 structures from tier 2 and tier 3. Whereas on the other side, you've got like the whole mosque approach to LucifroN.
Viper going for stone. 3 on stone, so there will be an extra TC. On the other side, Dome of Faith here, but not on stone yet. So I think LucifroN will actually go for army, which surprises me a bit. No extra TC.
Has he scouted? I mean, he has to assume that Viper does not have only 2 openings. He's scouting now, Billy,
yeah.
so I think he's gonna... I mean, there is an argument if you feel like you're opening a certain way because the map's supposed to look a certain way. There is an argument for LucifroN to pause and say, like, actually, you can't pause in Age 4. So tab out and say to the devs, like, yo, what's up with this?
You're complaining a lot about the devs today.
That wasn't a complaint. That was a realistic
It's also
scenario.
the admin, not the dev.
Oh, that's the joke. Yeah, I don't know. Dev's always on the mind here, my friend. Sorry, devs. This is going to piss someone off. Oh, Viper. Oh, he's found the Scholar here.
Yeah.
Scholars are a bit more beefy, though, so I think that he will be fine.
4 damage. He will be fine. He will be fine. Did he research that he can collect those in Feudal Age? Looks like it, right?
Yeah, he's getting a lot of text at the moment. So can you just refresh me? Correct me if I'm wrong, I guess, actually, with Viper's or LucifroN civilization. Your blacksmith upgrades or like your upgrades in general are free.
Correct.
But
they take way longer.
Yeah, exactly. So the rate at which they research is increased based on the amount of techs researched within the mosque.
No, they're always slow.
Always.
But the more scholars you have in your mosque, the shorter it gets. And you can build multiple mosques and put multiple scholars in there, and it gets shorter.
Yeah, I
double blacksmith now added for LucifroN. Holy moly, I've never seen double blacksmith approach.
At this stage of the game, double blacksmith? Ooh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's just for the upgrades.
Yeah.
And Viper, he gets the sacred site. He actually added the scout. He's trying to attack the scholar.
Wow. Okay. Maybe that's something LucifroN didn't expect here. I like the defense there from Viper. Yeah, I guess double blacksmith makes sense with this civ, right? It
He
wouldn't
actually
make sense
cancelled
with
one. Maybe it was a misclick. Went for the archer range after all.
Ah, okay, okay.
Scholar could get home. Obviously, it only needs to make it to the mosque. Viper is trying to intercept. 26
Oh.
HP.
Nope. Still
Easy.
so weak, these scouts. Yeah, that's definitely different for us Age 2 guys. Like, monks are so fragile in Age of Empires 2.
Goes for the second blacksmith after all. Huh.
I mean, the thing is, Viper hasn't scouted that. I don't know if that plays a role, but, like, Viper's probably not assuming that we're seeing double blacksmith or any type of really aggressive approach. So he hasn't gone back there to scout, which means he can't wall on his very good defensive generation here at home. Or he won't wall, I should say.
He actually will try to chop through the center to get more map control. Also funny that actually LucifroN is not using one mosque to upgrade. He's only using the other mosque. So that's certainly a mistake.
All right. We see a barracks now. I mean, we've got archer range, we've got barracks, double blacksmith. I mean, he's definitely going on the offensive. Viper doesn't have a clue about this. I think Viper happy to sit with 2 TCs. And now Viper sees the military in the center. And he's going to take this fight, but he should leave.
Yeah, bugged out a bit there. And scout actually goes down.
So what's Viper's reaction here is my question.
Some horsemen.
Okay.
Goes for
Could
stable.
be good.
Obviously should be heavily ahead in economy. I like heavily ahead. LucifroN sits at 29 villagers. And the Viper at, what? 28?
Yep. I noticed that a second ago as well. To be honest with you, maybe Viper's had a tough time. I don't know. His TCs are always cute. I can't really explain that
No,
one.
he even produces villagers for half the cost. What happened there?
Yeah, that's don't know.
What?
Figure it out. I'm moving on. Sacred Site, and if he can get this Sacred Site, LucifroN's going to be quite happy with this. But he does not have any spearmen here, so he's going to run away with that Scholar. Also got a Wolf in the mix there. Maybe a bit of an overextension. Maybe LucifroN didn't expect more military from the Viper, but yeah, Viper walks away, or runs away, or gallops away. And I think that Scholar will end up going down to the Horseman, though. Good job from Viper.
Oh, Scholar at the right-hand side is getting attacked. Horseman does at least 6 damage, I believe. Oh, 9 damage. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scholar has way more problems there.
Interesting game here, Nilly. I have to say, I'm really not a fan of this map. You know, maybe it would be like if we get a queue system for this game, one of the maps I might put on my ban list, but at least we're going to see some action later on.
Certainly one of the more defensive one. Distance is long, you have easy walls. And I'm still completely in shock how Viper is not heavily ahead in villages. Was he like super housed or something?
I don't know, but he's getting it now.
34.
He does have the lead now. And all Viper set out to do here is stop LucifroN from getting the sacred sites. And LucifroN's making military so he can take the sacred sites. It's a bit like a weird way of fighting for the relics if you compare it to Age 2. With the...
Oh, Viper actually, yeah. Viper made like 2-3 extra scouts. So that's minus 2 villagers.
Yeah.
But still. Huh.
Feels like he should have had a few more, but it's one of those things we assumed something would happen there. Viper's, oh man, the scouts are going to go down now, nearly.
Yeah, Horseman even. And
Sacred Site being fought for. Here we have Viper with archers for the first time in the middle of the field.
But numbers are not high enough. Spearmen should easily deal with the Horsemen. Archers are going down. Goes for the Sacred Site at the left-hand side. But we have another scout around there.
Interesting. Yeah, the scout will be able to start that attack. But I think it's possible for LucifroN to save that. If it's just a scout, the Scholar will be able to take quite a few hits.
Sends 2 Spearmen over. Yeah, I think you might get that Sacred Site. Remember, 200 gold per minute pro Sacred Site if you're Delhi.
Let's look at the income per minute right now. Viper ahead in every category, but just slightly ahead when it comes to the golds. Like this from Viper, sniping the reinforcements. That's really smart. Especially smart with this. And yeah, Viper, he's now just microing and running around in circles here. There's no way this is worth Viper's time to run around in a circle right now. Look at the sheep. Oh my god. On the left side here. Don't you have other things to do? What a nerd. He actually lost some of his horsemen as he was microing that. And he's also losing archers right now, nearly. So
Yeah, that was not worth it.
Viper.
Yeah, very questionable for sure. And 2 sacred sites now in control. Oh no, horsemen are coming over again.
Yeah, I think he was trying to contest this and buy a little bit of time. That's one of those deals there where maybe Viper doesn't do it if the score is 1-1, but it's 2-0. And look at the move. I mean, how can you argue with these results? Sacred Site, boink, denied.
Well, because this next scholar could just come over.
Yeah, I know. That's... I don't know if there's one close by, though. I haven't been keeping track of those guys.
There should be lots of them actually being produced. Yeah, we have 6 already in the mosques, 1 in a barracks. Obviously makes your production faster. House of Learning now being built, and yeah, more scholars in production.
Can we talk about how there's a red sheep next to the 2 hardened spearmen of LucifroN? Oh! There was! Sorry, I should have used past tense. Sheep goes down. Do you get vision from a sheep?
I don't think so.
How would have looked?
I don't know.
Because that would actually be important then. Viper to the right of his base, sending some villagers out right now. He's going to drop a mill, which I think is pretty risk-free at this point. It's not like there's any horsemen running around from LucifroN.
By the way, both players on the way to Castle Age. I think we will soon see the Springles.
Horsemen at LucifroN's base right now. LucifroN's got to be careful with this. He's got so many villagers exposed there. And yeah, Nilly, that's a good point. A few villager kills there from Viper, who already has the lead right now with that.
Did he really get villager kills?
Yeah, I think he got 2. Unless
Okay.
I judge that.
I think he should have gotten some, but I simply didn't see any bodies. I was really confused.
Yeah, they're stepping on top of their friends.
Ah, okay.
Be their friends, so... 62 vills for Viper, LucifroN, what right now? 44, but so much military. Not as many sacred sites as he would want to show for it, though. He only has 1 right now.
Viper could actually go for men-at-arms, and I think that's his setup here. With all the barracks at the site.
Oh, yeah. I think the barracks is my favorite graphically out of between the barracks, the stable, and the archer ranges.
It's quite funny, also with the practice area there in the center.
Yeah, I like it. It's also the least confusing. Like, archer range blacksmith looks a little too similar for me right now, so...
Indeed, we're going for men-at-arms. Blacksmith, we're going for faster production and for armor against archers. Viper's going for a good unit here.
Yeah, Viper also going for a mosque right now on the left side near the barracks.
Oh, but men-at-arms as well for LucifroN.
Look at this nerd. Look at him go with this horseman. He refuses to give up the sacred site. That's so funny. Scholar could go down in time. I mean, Viper did it before. Oh, whoop, whoop.
Spearman finally splitting up. Okay.
Yeah. No, Viper's not done.
And now men-at-arms, yeah. Won't go into LucifroN's possession. Oh, attack through the center.
Oh, the horse is going fine. And oh, we do have the attack through the center right into Viper's base here. I think he's so distracted. There's a whole mess of military here. You just hear screams and cries from Viper's economy. They're like, why didn't you protect us? But he does have the TCs at least to fall back to. There's no rams yet from LucifroN.
53 military for LucifroN. Viper sitting at 18.
Nuts. I mean, completely different approaches here. Viper sitting at 71 eco. LucifroN can't say he has anything close to that, but holy moly, there's military everywhere right now from LucifroN.
But attacking main TC might be a problem. Men-at-arms now in the back. As we stated earlier, Archer's actually not that great against that.
Yeah. Viper also failing to stop the other sacred site, and this is getting out of control right now. But Viper does have I mean, I have faith in the Man-at-Arms based on what we saw earlier, Nilly, but just how many can he afford right now with his eco?
Springer's an exception. I think Viper is doing
Oh.
great here.
Yeah. These units just don't die.
LucifroN completely overcommitted. Ran into 2 TCs, all his men-at-arms at the front there. Reinforcements were being cut off by a Springald. That's so good for the Viper.
If you're going to have a unit that's going to pack a punch, it is proven in this series to be the Man-at-Arms. You do not need as many of these things, and they can force back the whole archer play. Viper's eco, very strong. Of course, he could then contest the sacred sites. He's got a Springald in a nice position to get some kills.
Uh-oh, but now...
Feels very weird to me. Like normally, as we do see villagers in Viper's base dying, but if a player commits to attacking TCs there, Nilly, I always assume this guy knows what he's doing. I don't. That's going to be good.
Now I feel like LucifroN is winning this one. Where's Viper's production? How is this game swinging?
It's crazy to me. And I'm thinking maybe LucifroN, if he can get a forward production building or two, could continue this push. 80 population for the Viper, LucifroN at 90 population, 46 military. Doesn't have any siege to back this up. He's running across the whole map right now, which is certainly taking a lot of
Men-at-Arms of Delhi, by the way, 17 attack here against the 13 of the Viper. Did go for more blacksmith upgrades and the +3 attack for them. So Viper can't take this fight at all here. Men-at-Arms versus Men-at-Arms.
If you can't beat him, join him, I guess. Only in this case, Men-at-Arms for LucifroN are even stronger. And you're right, Viper's... It went from a good fight for Viper to just not having enough in the tank. He has 29 idle villagers, only 12 military. And I mean, there's 12 military on my screen from LucifroN right now, and he's got 40 more around the map.
Oh man, Viper against Pop 102 himself. He is sitting at 62, and at this amount of idols just said, this game is over.
Yeah, I mean, he's had 19 idols, or no, 29 idols inside those 2 TCs, and wow. Very different approaches here in this game. And LucifroN said, I just need the sacred sites. I don't need the TC approach. I'm just going to spam military. And LucifroN stays alive against the Viper here. Was there a mistaken approach from the Viper? Because I think that it seemed like it was working for a while. He did gain a villager lead, which helps, but just never translated into the military count.
It just felt like Men-at-Arms versus Men-at-Arms, if you have the way weaker Men-at-Arms, is not really an option. And I didn't have knowledge about Delhi stronger Men-at-Arms. And maybe wait for like two or three Springals first, and then the engagements just go so much better for you.
Yeah, I was thinking... I was surprised at how he used his Springald as well, because the Springald had no support right smack in the middle of the map. You'd think you'd kind of like push out from your production buildings and protect them a little more. But yeah, Viper had more wood in that game. He had more gold in that game. He even had more stone in that game. But LucifroN had a bit more food, and he just flooded the map there. And he just made more military. I mean, yes, the Man-at-Arms are very strong, but even after Viper took that one favorable engagement, he was at 15 or so military, and LucifroN was still at 45. So, anyways, this series has opened my eyes a little bit more to the power of the Man-at-Arms, Nilly. As we'll move on, LucifroN can no longer play with Delhi, and the series continues. LucifroN definitely has a chance.
Definitely. Only needs 2 more wins, right? And now we're getting into the even more funky Civ matchups. Viper is probably someone who really excels at that. But LucifroN, he can have some prepared strategies that we have never seen.
Very true. Very true. So kind of it's hard to use the word meta when there might not be a full meta established, but definitely the more off-meta, awkward civilizations having to be used by both players now.
And LucifroN still has French.
Yeah, LucifroN still has French, which we know is strong. He won't... Wait. Oh, yeah, he lost with French. I'm dumb. Yeah, so he can reuse them again. Viper has one with the English.
And with the French.
And with the French. Yeah, so I could see Viper going Mongols next. I think he... if what he said the other day proves anything, I think his eyes have opened to the power of the Mongols, but it's very dependent on what you think the opponent will do or what the map might be.
Yep. Yeah. I have no idea. Obviously, it will not be Viper's choice. Maybe something where water is relatively important as well, like Danube River or Mongolian Heights again, where you
Yeah.
simply no that would be game. No, that would be for LucifroN. Yeah. So no, you should avoid those because you don't want to run into French.
If you had to pick a civ that would counter French the best from
I don't
Viper's
know.
main,
I think Mongols might be
yeah.
one because they can make it so wild, but I don't really know.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would have said Mongols, but running on unlimited experience here. And we don't know what the map is, so we should know shortly.
Yeah, if we
Long
go
day.
for yeah, long day indeed, right? Stream 9 hours now.
Yeah, not bad.
I was planning with 10. Yeah.
Yeah. As long as the games are good, I don't mind. Obviously, the stakes are huge here. I kind of had the feeling going into today that whoever wins this quarter will probably be the favorites in the other semifinal, but maybe that is disrespect to the person waiting in the wings after Recon was able to get through Hera 3-1 earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
I could message him right now.
Didn't I even go that far and say who wins here wins the tournament? Something like that, right?
The most bold prediction, and I don't think that bodes poorly for the other players, right? Because I think there's a benefit to going in as the underdog, because if you lose, whatever, like maybe it was expected, but if you win, then it's exciting. So there'd be less pressure there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying spring rolls, people. It's springolds. And it's not fish and chips. But now I'm hungry, so.
Yeah, Mista also waiting there at the bottom bracket.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, Recon's just such a cool guy. You know how it is when you play enough people on the ladder. Some of them you grow to like and maybe chit chat with a little bit.
Yeah.
That might be a key thing, but very happy to see him advance, and I think he proved that strategy definitely is the most important thing.
Yeah. For me, that happened probably with Kasva, playing him so much on the ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably played him 100 ladder games in like 3 months.
Didn't everyone?
Yeah.
Casva plays a lot of games, dude.
Yeah, crazy. So French for LucifroN, and the Viper
nice.
indeed goes for Mongols.
Okay, French Mongols. Now, what I've seen be successful with the Mongols, granted, there's a lot of elements to this, but that early Castle Age Ram pikeman push, and flooding the map with military. Like, do not skimp on military here if you're Viper.
What map is it?
I actually don't know because they didn't tell me yet. So
okay, but don't skip on military on this map.
Yes. Did I say this map? I meant this game. Sorry. But I mean, is there a scenario where
apparently Arabia?
See, told you.
Yeah, makes sense to go for.
I'm just thinking, like, is there a map remaining where it would be a bad idea with Mongols to make a lot of military against Franks? Probably not.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, we'll see some aggro from Viper here, regardless, and I think that Franks are a bit more figured out. Seeing him dominate. It's always fun to see that player try and find a way to break the civ that might be seen as better. 3 minutes though, Nilly. We had a lot of downtime today.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's weird, right? Because sometimes you just talk and you get into the time, and then suddenly, oops, the game is there. But if you have the 5-minute timer, 5-minute timer, actually you're staring it down. It feels longer. It feels longer somehow. It isn't, but it feels longer.
Instead of a watched pot never boils, it's a watched countdown never
ends.
Okay. Yeah, that was... When I started that whole thing, I thought it would be funnier or more interesting at the end, but yeah, here we are. Viper
Okay.
skimps on military because you don't win by killing what you hate, but saving what you love. What? Okay. Wasn't expecting that comment. Ooh,
Rather
sorry, go ahead.
have a lobby waiting in your hand than observer delay waiting on your roof.
Okay, are we doing this now? Do I have to think of one now too? That was creative. I'm not sure of the quality, but it was creative, so I'll give you bonus points for that.
Nice.
I give up. If we would have just started this 3 hours ago, maybe I would be able to do it. Yeah, interesting. Someone says the reason they want the AoE 2 boys to win is to give some sort of legitimacy to AoE 4. I mean,
What?
I think you could make the argument the other way around. I think there's no harm in saying that you want to root for AoE 2 guys because you started off with AoE 2 and love AoE 2 and love the personalities there. But I think it would actually be better for AoE 4 as an esport if, at least initially, the AoE 2 guys weren't just winning all the time.
I think it would be horrible if someone is dominating. Yeah.
Oh, in general, yeah, definitely. In general. I think what's really cool for me is someone like Recon and Mista, who unfortunately fell to him, but because there's a pretty big gap between a top 5 Age of Empires 2 player and a player who hits 2K1 or 2K2, top 100, top 150. Like, a massive gap. Like, if the top 150 plays against the top 5, in 100 games, they maybe win 10, depending on Civ matchups and whatnot, like, at most. So the fact that Recon walks in here and beats Hera 3-1 is insane. Like, that's really cool. So clearly there's something going on there where this game suits Recon's comfort zone a bit more than Hera's right now, and I think a lot of that stems back to how AoE 4 plays out, which is different than AoE 2, but also lots and lots of preparation and time. That's cool to me.
I think he simply played the game way, way more than most people.
Yeah, maybe. And you want to see preparation matter, right? You don't just want to see some skilled players step in and be able to beat everyone at everything, Nilly, and we are finally here. Nice to see Arabia after the previous map. Good to see Franks after a while. LucifroN Franks in the blue. Viper hoping to close it out here, playing as the Mongols.
I'm really excited. Friends, we are expecting some nice Mongols. I don't know what to expect. We're starting off with the OVO. Makes lots of sense. House will be needed. No house will be needed because we never built houses. LucifroN will need one pretty soon. And yeah, that's the pretty standard build order. Viper, what will you go for? Mangodai, Horsemen, Archers, Spearmen, all feel kind of viable.
Yeah, I guess this would be the proper time to say it depends.
Okay.
I'm not sure what it really depends on, actually, because Franks are pretty one-sided here. I don't think we're going to see too much out of the box from LucifroN. Normally, it is a rush to Age 2, and then make those Royal Knights, and eventually think about Chivalry, so the Royal Knights heal. What Viper has going for him is he's up 2-1, but also that French are more one-sided. So Viper probably knows what to expect. LucifroN will have to scout a bit more, maybe, and figure that out.
Man-at-Arms, very unlikely unit to see, simply because it's only a Castle Age unit for Mongols, and French simply have better options as well. Now, the 4th villager on gold again. Did he play 7-4? Feels so weird how heavily he goes into gold. And yeah, both players with only one scout. Now the barracks by the Viper. So he goes for the spear approach, potentially with towers.
Okay, spear tower. Yeah, I remember I was watching Viper's stream the other day, and I got to the tail end of when he died in a game. And he was like, I'm not sure what I could have done better there. And he looked at the resources, and there was all that stone and gold for Mongols. He got overwhelmed with military, and he said that he thinks that Mongols could be S tier. So, like, there's definitely a recent awakening. Granted, I don't know who was up against. It was in a rated game. it's not like the same level of seriousness, but there was a recent moment for Viper with Mongols, and might revolve around the spears.
Viper, did he idle his CC? No, he did not. But 4 spearman aggression now, and he is going to tower rush the gold of the French.
No
and
way.
gold is still accessible at the top there. I will
Yeah.
assume LucifroN scouted that one, but that's going to be quite some ugly play, and you desperately need gold if you want to go for knights. But obviously archers are gold free.
What's up with this? It doesn't actually show the gold if you look at LucifroN's Fog of War. Like, look at his Fog of War. He scouted the area. It doesn't show a gold tile.
Yeah, that's a bit on the bugged side. Yeah,
Like that?
he scouted it. It is bugged. Just scroll around. You don't see the woodline and everything either.
Okay, but is that a spec bug or is
Yeah,
that
it's a spec bug. It's a spec bug. Yeah.
All right, well, that's important because if he does get rushed here, he will need to fall back.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to fall back right now. And maybe this aggression is coming a little faster than LucifroN was expecting. Well, hopefully he'll find that gold back there, which I think Viper needs to scout as well, to be honest.
Outpost now being built by LucifroN. I think you have to follow this one up with an archer range. Pulls more villagers away from wood. Low HP villager being microed back as well. And Viper might take out this mining camp.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, what's tricky here is you want to be stubborn with the French. And you definitely want to be making those knights. But yeah, maybe an archer range is the more natural decision. I like the distraction there from LucifroN with the scout. And he
Mining
saves
camp
them all.
needs to be repaired though. Buildings are burning in Age of Empires. LucifroN should know as a Terran player though.
He'll be fine.
Okay,
He's going to repair
repairs.
it. Yeah, he's
Yep.
got plenty of time. But didn't really need to fall back. Viper, is he on the way up yet? He is, but he's delayed. But similar to game 1, Nilly, he likes that outpost in a strong position to fortify and push from. And I like how annoying he's been so far this game.
Mm-hmm. Khan is helping out as well. Mining camp is still burning. He didn't properly repair it. And if that one goes down, it's 50 food, 50 gold for the Viper.
You know what I would love is for the first Royal Knight, and we're going to assume he's going to make Royal Knights, for the first Royal Knight to go directly to Viper's Eco.
Well, look at the waypoint. He's not going to defend his gold.
Yeah, I like that. Setting the waypoint out.
Outpost a bit too close to the TC, my friend.
Yeah, it doesn't really protect Viper abusing that, and it's...
No, I mean the second outpost is actually too close to the TC.
I thought you meant the other one was not protecting the gold from the Khan, and that could easily be denied there. Well, not easily, actually. Royal Knights are strong, but it all depends on if Viper protects this guy. And easily. Okay, I take it back.
Nice one.
Pro predictions over here.
Micros that one away. One spearman in the tower. Not really shooting at the gold right now. Maybe sending another villager forward could be a thing.
I think he is. I think he's on the way. He's kind of by the gold in the middle. But what do you think about the choice to make that outpost on the right? Like, is that... I mean, obviously it's within range of the TC, but is that a good position to lock down here?
It's to annoy those villagers and push them away with their sheep.
I also think he's going to be extremely fixated on the gold, not realizing that there's a gold in the back for LucifroN, and LucifroN's on it.
Mm-hmm.
Viper never scouted that. If you look at Viper's Fog of War, he never checked the back.
Yeah, something he certainly should do. Something he certainly should also do is celebrate that he just killed a villager on gold. And there are 3 more low HP ones.
Yeah. Khan doesn't do the most damage, but it does do damage, so that helps. We do have some archers out now for LucifroN, and LucifroN's got to be careful with these vills, man. He's going to lose another one. What's happening?
I have no idea. Feudalite Khan doing 4 damage, so solid 13 shots and a villager dies, and that's villager number 3 dying.
I mean, I'm very surprised by this. Did he forget? Is the Khan not moving, so he just completely forgets its presence?
I don't really know. Obviously, there's a lot of microing going on with the spearmen, with the tower, archers around here, but that's simply something you should see. You have to ask yourself where the Khan is.
Yeah. I mean, hello? He's losing more here, Nilly. Well, what is this? He's got the back golds. That is so sloppy, man, from LucifroN. I mean, otherwise, this is fine. If he doesn't lose those vills, this is really good. But losing those vills, very sloppy.
He's only 1 villager behind, though.
Yeah, but he also only has 1 Vil on gold. Okay, he's fixing that now.
Okay, now
How
it
does that
goes
happen,
for
by the way?
survival techniques. Faster hunt.
You said Viper's got that now?
Yeah,
Or,
Viper's going for that. Yeah.
interesting. You know what's tricky about Viper is he invested into a forward position, but now that the archers are out, he's going to need potentially something more. He's added his own archers with the spearman, and a really good fight for Viper. Clears up the knight. Also, LucifroN taking a poor fight here as well, I believe. As you see Viper activate. Spearman become a little faster here, and great fighting for the Viper.
Yeah, Spearman and archers can chase this one down. Remember, we have all arrows hitting, so that's quite some damage, and LucifroN is trying to run away, but that's really ugly for him.
That Viper is really dominating, and look at this. LucifroN now on stone. What is that noise? Do you hear that?
No? What's the sound like?
It sounded like something was like blocked. You know the sound when you're trying to build something in Age of Empires 2 and it's like consistently, I don't know. Anyways, moving on.
Just do the sound.
No. That's a slippery slope. I only do that with camels. So
What like maybe I can guess it.
I don't know. It's like it was like someone was holding down a hotkey and you couldn't produce what was ever what was trying to be produced. It was like constant, like click 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 click. Very weird.
Not like drrrr.
Kind of. But I don't think the sound is important because it's gone now. But thank you.
Okay.
Viper with 21 military, 28 Vils, LucifroN with 31 eco. How is this happening? But I guess it's the French. Power of the French and 12 military.
Doesn't feel fair indeed. Melee attack and defense already done by the Viper. Now moves in, and the next tower is coming in.
Yeah, next tower coming in. The LucifroN basically able to recover here due to the fact that he is the French. Faster work EGC is just so broken. In certain situations, of course. And great micro here from both, but so far I'm more impressed with LucifroN.
Archers need to really run back. Spearman not doing too much here for the Viper.
Yeah, and you're starting to see that now. And he wants to complete the outpost, but the Royal Knights charge in here. It's so close. And it's a outpost. It's not a outpost. It goes up. Sorry. See how much value that ends up getting here for the Viper. He's got 2 of them now.
4 knights still around. Can't really commit against that. Knights should go down. Towers can focus fire. But no, he focus fires on the archers. Oh, that could have been 2 dead knights.
And now they're going to heal up. He can regroup as we have a whole bunch of fills for LucifroN going the other way. What in the world is that for? He's going to head down there for the deer. And I guess you do have a lot of food on the deer. So seems excessive, but does make sense if you need that food.
50 population against 50 population. Spearmen are getting sniped down though. And again, the knights are just microing back and they obviously can heal up. But oh, lost 2.
Yep, that's it. That's what you wanted with the tower, Nili. He focus fires. And actually, these Royal Knights are also quite weak. A Viper has not taken any damage at home. And it's tough to have confidence going out against the Mongols because their eco is so compact usually. Viper actually with a lot of military there he needs to send out across the map. I love the sheep that's following. This is the most confused sheep ever.
Yeah. Follows the Khan there.
Viper spotted. It's hard for me to see if he spotted that on the right, but I think he saw the Vils run that way direction. Or run that direction, Nili, sorry. Still doesn't know where the gold is, but so much vision and map control for the snake. LucifroN in this, but he's not as in this as he would want to be right now. He's not, it's not out of reach, but he has been reacting an awful lot. Viper dictating the pace of the game quite wonderfully.
What is a character trait of a Mongol unit that thinks that they can win?
Character trait of a Mongol unit that thinks that they can win.
Confidence?
I literally, while we were casting earlier today, I said confidence, and you didn't even laugh at me. Did you not realize that was a joke?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Mike, I feel so disrespected.
Ah, okay, I'm sorry then.
You know what I might have said? The unit was weak as it was fleeing, and I think I said, I'm not sure if he can run away, but I think he can. And then he didn't.
Yeah. We made too many of those.
Yeah.
Can is too easy.
All right, sorry, you stepped it up.
Yeah.
A great expansion from LucifroN. Maybe I should have given more attention to this, but the outpost more towards the north. The gold, of course, we talked about. There is more gold and stone back there. But, uh-oh, on the other side, LucifroN out of position. Here comes the Viper. You can only fit 5 in there. And remember, we talked about how many vills were out and exposed. I know the French TC works fast, but that is so many dead villagers now.
Why did he run to the right-hand side when his army's at the left-hand side?
Can't dodge, that's for sure. LucifroN now down to 39 villagers, as Viper's gonna love that. He's at 38. Viper's killed so many vills, he's still not even that far ahead. This is ridiculous.
Those two knights
fight as well.
Knights are still doing crazy damage. Another one goes down, but all the archers are dying behind this as well for the Viper. Oh boy. He should think he's heavily ahead in eco now, though.
He should, and he is banking more res. I don't know if it's beneficial to go up, but I mean, he's about to lose control. One of the worst things you can do is lose army control and then go up to the next stage. But he does hold. I think he'll struggle against the archers now, but still toying with the idea of going up, Nilly.
Huh. What's a better army composition here for Viper? Can you maybe play Spearmen, Horsemen instead of archers?
I mean, Horsemen, I like that, actually. I really like that, because as it stands, you've taken out a lot of the knights. So that might come, but it might not come for a bit. And then Horsemen are quite good against the archers. God, I really hope this freaking outpost gets taken out, because there's that constant red signal on the minimap because a mining camp is being attacked.
Oh yeah. Well, he will finally get the resources, right?
Yeah.
Or did he get the resources earlier?
There's the hardened Khan, and he can't escape as he uses the speed. Nice save there from Viper. And he goes into the freaking outpost. How can a unit on a horse hop in an outpost?
Yeah, that feels wrong. I agree.
Yeah.
Quite some archers going down. Oh, is LucifroN committing here against the tower? Feels like quite a big commitment. Doesn't really know how much army the Viper has, but there's not much at home.
Yeah, but it's tricky, right? Like, every time you try and counter the Mongols, they have an answer. And Viper has lots of pastures as well. We haven't talked about this too much, but this is unique to the Mongols. The pastures will generate sheep. You don't need to expand your eco with farms like other civs. You can just keep it all at home. I like that concept. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, they can't even build. Damn, that's so crazy as well.
Here comes a ram here for LucifroN. What?
Vipers, is he getting upgrades? Archers, not really. Now goes for some knights himself. Archer upgrade as well.
Numbers will matter here, Nilly. If Viper had another couple, like maybe 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds, he'd definitely be okay. Let's see how he is now.
Oh, really? Push into the TC? That feels so risky.
I think there's no way he can protect that ram. But will he do enough damage here? Big fight.
Knights around, Spearman getting sniped. Oh, this feels really aggressive by LucifroN. But oh, the archers are bugging out.
Oh, man, the archers aren't attacking, and Viper's archers are just running around. The ram goes down. The TC can be garrisoned again. That will help. Viper is an age up right now over LucifroN. Both players took massive losses here, Nilly, but there's still a town center firing. I don't see any world where LucifroN can win this fight now.
There's no way. He just lost all his archers. Lancers are chasing down as well. Castle against Feudal Age. I think LucifroN is done here.
Yeah, it seems like it, and he calls it. He realizes that was the time window. He probably took the fight because he saw Viper was in castle. He knew he was nowhere close. And Viper will move on to the semifinal, and he won fairly convincingly, I would say, here today, Nilly. There were some question marks over LucifroN's play from you and I. Maybe things he'll have to go back to the drawing board on, but Viper surely deserved it here. And he's always been one of the best players, but also one of the best players at adapting to new stuff. And he showed it here.
Really nice adaptation indeed. And beating French with Mongols there. That was quite some interesting play. So much aggression. The first two towers. But also we have to think about like LucifroN Losing 5 villagers on his main gold? That should not happen.
It does what, 4 damage?
Yeah, 4 damage in Feudal Age, 2 damage in Dark Age.
4 damage, and if you think back to the Bay one, the Bombard Bay or Blasted Bay or whatever.
Oh god,
Bay.
don't get me started, yeah.
Yeah, like, you don't add trade in a map like that as well. So, like, we've seen people go down today, and I don't think Nilly and I have really been that harsh or judgmental in questioning decisions, because overall, the winning player completely out-strategized, and they've been good competitive games. I had more questions over LucifroN's decision-making than I expected after seeing his brother play earlier today, and there was 0 question marks over Viper's play. He was able to bring it back in one game, and he was able to get early leads in a game like this, despite, maybe some things going his way on LucifroN's end.